Hey, I want to talk about a little piece of presenting and storytelling called the call to action. This is something that we probably could stand to talk about a little bit more than we do because you're so often presenting to get buy-in. You're so often presenting to get an action to occur. You're inspiring something from your audience. It's called the call to action. So you're going to have the same story structure that you use on everything else in a call to action. But you might be flipping the script here in a way that makes your audience the hero of the story because they're going to do something. So let me speak in broad terms. Let's just say you were talking to the main character as a marketing team, and the marketing team has been exerting a lot of energy, but to some of the wrong places. So they're not necessarily reaching the people they really want to try to, even though they're working so hard. Well, what's the end of that story? They're marketing specifically to the people they're trying to reach. What's the middle of that story? It's the plan to get correctly focused so that we're efficiently reaching those people. See, that could be my open. Hey, marketing team, we know from our data that we're putting a lot of effort into some things that are missing the mark on who we need to reach. I want to unveil a 3-step plan that will work inside of this month, or at the very least this quarter. And by the end of this process, we're going to be hitting the people we're actually trying to reach, and our effort will be more effective and more efficient. That's a great story to set up a presentation on a plan. Now, who's the hero of that story? Well, I am, because I'm bringing you the plan. So in my presentation, I may not say that I'm being the hero, but I'm bringing you a plan to get you to a place you want. That makes me the hero. When I get to the call to action, I could just close with that same story, because as a group, we're doing these things wrong. We're going to do this right, and then we'll get to the result. That essentially is an implied call to action, but a better call to action is to flip the script right there and make them the hero of the story. So our marketing team has been missing the mark. And I need you to join me in this plan. Stick to it, follow it, get on board, and let's do it for 1 to 3 months. And at the end of that time, you will have made a difference that everyone in this marketing program is going to feel. So when I go to make a call to action at the end of the presentation, after I've looked at everything, what I might just do is flip the script to make you the hero, because this group you care about is facing this problem. If you buy in and do these actions, you're going to help this whole team get to that result. And that's what we want you to do. So does this make sense? I use story structure over and over again, but in the open, I'm essentially the hero by bringing you a solution. In the end, you're buying into the solution, which makes you the hero to the team. So I might just flip the script. There's one last thing on call to action that's really important, which is a story order. So stories are about a main character that have a problem. Something happens to get to a better place. The main character goes to the better place. That's how all stories work. When I do a call to action story, I move the middle to the last part. So instead of going beginning, middle, and end, I go beginning and middle, or end, beginning, middle. What's most important is the middle's last. So here's what it might ultimately sound like. So we've just looked at our all of these things that help us see that very clearly the marketing team is missing its mark. That's the beginning. Where we can be in just 1 to 3 months is a place where our efforts are efficiently hitting the mark. And that's where the marketing team needs to be. That's the ending. And then I end on middle. This will happen if you buy into this plan and join me in really being vigilant and following these specific steps that we talked about for 1 to 3 months straight. If you join me and join this process, then you will be the ones to make that difference. All right, so let me summarize. Stories about main characters who are in a bad situation, something happens to get them to a better situation. That's what storytelling is. When I get to the call to action at the end of the presentation, I want to flip the script so that the audience is in the hero role, and I'm talking about how they're going to make the difference. And I move the call to action, which is middle, to the very last thing. So I close with, hey, everybody, as we reviewed, this group has this problem, and this is what we want for them. You can step forward and be the one to make that difference if you do whatever it is I'm asking you to do. So if you look at the simple story structure in terms of the call to action, you want to close making your audience a hero who sees a problem and a goal and steps forward with the action you want them to take. And that is what you're inspiring to happen with a proper call to action.